This video is about confocal imaging microscopy. So in confocal imaging microscopy, we are using focal lenses for imaging purposes for microscopical objects. It has been first developed in the year 1961. Later on, it has been developed. So this is optical sectioning and 3D reconstruction. This confocal microscopy is optical sectioning and 3D reconstruction. So a lens has been used to image the device. The closer the lens, smaller the lens, closer the view, longer the lens, the angle should be widened, and the pinhole is also having its effect over here. So see, lens will be having multi distance, it can be adjusted over multi distance, and it has been changed with the x-axis and y-axis directions to view the image, surface of the image. And the fluorescence simulations of a single point has been done using tube lenses like this. And whenever the excitation signal falls over a slanting line and it is made to pass through a lens in convex manner, it gets through one particular distance. The reflection may occur through the convex lens towards one single point, and so it converges like this. So here we have to place the sample, and the image has been viewed very sharply because of this excitation light which falls over a slanting line with convex lens. So this is the fluorescence illumination. If an emission light has been applied, so from the camera we can detect the surface of the image or interior of the image using this excitation light and emission light like this. So adjusting the distance, we can view the object very accurately. This is given over here. The only problem is fluorescence is emitted along the entire illumination cone and not just at focal. So this is the only problem. So the wide field fluorescent imaging and point illumination imaging is given over here. If the cover glass is having the pinhole with a wider length, then wide field illumination may occur. If the cover glass is having very minute, the cover glass and the lens, that is the focal point. See here, we are having here one tip, right? This tip, the viewing tip, is very less in diameter, means point illumination may occur. So these are the microscopic slides with the cover glass and illumination beam. The illumination will be of two types: wide field illumination and point illumination based on the viewing point tip. And this is the 3D fluorescence microscopy, where each image contains out of focus blur from other focal planes. The first approach is physically exclude the bar with a confocal microscopy. So see here, light detection pinhole has been placed over there, and a sample is placed over here. From the laser light, through excitation pinhole, the light has been passed over and made to fall over a slanting line structure, and it is made to fall over convex lens, and so the light waves converge at over one particular point, and it is reflected back, and it is detected through pinhole structure and then light detector, where the image has been viewed clearly. And then over the second approach, the blur has been removed computationally by 3D reconstruction, where the received images are passed through a stack of 2D images, and it's processed and deconvoluted to get 3D reconstructed image. So this is the process with confocal microscopy. So the confocal microscopy is having excitation light and objective lens, tube lens, pinhole detector like this. This is the arrangement. And over this, the emission light is the light which is emitted back from the sample towards the detector end. So see, this is how the detection may occur with the pinhole characteristics. If pinhole is having wider slit within it, the image is looking large, and if it is having smaller hole, means a pointed image will be there. So scat excitations point by point to build up image has been occur. And the light sources, excitation light must be focused to a diffracted limited spot, as like in the figure. It could be done with an arc lamp and a pinhole, but very inefficient. Most of the time we use laser, so it is perfectly collimated and a high power is received. And for scanning, objective lens has been used, which changing entrance angle of illumination moves illumination spot on the sample, so that we are having the lens present over there. So like this, whenever the entrance angle of illumination has been changed, the spot of the sample in which we have to see is adjusted. So the emission spot moves, so we have to make sure pinhole is coincident with it. So the confocal optical path may occur like this. So from the objective, it goes to relay lens, and then scanning mirror, and then dichroic plate, where the laser light is made to fall at a starting point, and it is made to pass into pinhole, then detector. So the incident laser light through the process has been repeated back to approach the detector. So the confocal microscope is having light signal like this. So scan excitation spot point by point by build up image. The problem is 1 second to acquire an image, not a millisecond or picosecond will be observed, because most of the images are taken with a picosecond, but in confocal it takes 1 second approximately, and it's having low light efficiency. And the solution is we have to use multiple pinholes and a camera to have high sensitivity, high efficiency, and fast. So a solution is spinning disc confocal imaging. So we have to use spinning disc. So in the spinning disc we are having micro lens arrays and pinhole arrays will be placed. Whenever we spin over it, different confocal images has been collected. So Nipkow disc optical configuration is this arrangement is called Nipkow disc optical configuration. In this, the specimen is placed and objective has been objective is there placed over the objective lens is there, and over that we are having pinhole array and micro lens array, where the spread laser beam, dichromatic mirror, everything are placed. So it has been easily detected at the using the camera, very fast and with a high resolution. So the pros and cons of spinning disc is it is fast, but multiple points are illuminated at once. This is the pros. Photo efficient, high quality, gentler on live samples, usually low laser power. The cons are fixed pinhole except in swept field, small field of view usually occurs, and a crosstalk through adjacent pinholes limits the sample thickness. So these are the disadvantages. So we may use confocal for limited applications only, for a thickness of 10 into the depth of field of the objective. So this is based on a good rule of thumb. And 100 into 1.4 numerical aperture, 20 into 0.75 numerical aperture objects we have to use. And sample preparation is also an important one. So confocal does not fix scattering, refractive index mismatch, or everything else that can go wrong. It only removes out of focus light. So these are the limitations with the confocal imaging. So the sample preparation we have to consider over here. For fixed samples, match refractive index of mounting media to immersion oil may occur. Mounting immersion oil itself uses benzyl alcohol or any some other chemicals. Nowadays so many chemicals have came. So the clearing to remove lipids and other scattering substances is also important for this. For live samples, water immersion lenses we have to use. So this is the spherical aberration point spread functions for ideal and one wave of spherical aberration. So over the point hole which is having light, there is a narrow width, broad width has been given over here. So clearing and mounting summary, both clearing and refractive index matching are important, and the solutions what we are using are clearly very well and give best image depth, and here it preserves cell morphology and allows for incident imaging depth. So these are the things about confocal imaging. Thank you.